What is up, everyone? Great Well Investing. Alex here. Today we're talking about Post Malone. You know, the rapper, singer, what have you. Basically, he showed up to a big magic convention. Well, convention, it's more like a trade show here in Southern California called Frank and Sons. It's like a big nerd convention. Basically, there's a bunch of anime stuff, Star Wars, superhero, Marvel, Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, you name it. They have all that kind of stuff there. It's a collectible show. It's wonderful. Cool place you should check out. Anyway, Post Malone shows up on, this was April 28th, a day before this recording, but by the time I posted, probably a couple days prior. But basically, he showed up, got some photos, and purchased some cards. A lot of cards. TMZ posted an article on it. I'll post the link to that in the description. But basically, the entire Magic community now knows that Post Malone plays Magic. He had a few sightings previously on Twitter of him showing up to local game stores to play EDH Commander, and a lot of posing with fans and everything like that. So it's really interesting. It's the largest personality outside of the actual community to like pick up and adopt the game. There was a few months ago he had posted a picture of himself wearing like a Magic merchandise, Magic the Gathering merchandise. So it was perhaps hinted at a bit. It's hard to know if it was a WotC stunt or if it was just him naturally wanting to go play EDH with people and go to Frank and Sons and buy some cards, very publicly, randomly. It's hard to say. Part of me thinks that it is some kind of PR move with Wizards of the Coast. He'll also be appearing on the Command Zone for a large audience as well. So part of me does believe that this is more of a planned stunt than it is like an impromptu, hey, exciting, like look at that. But that's neither here nor there. The trick is this going to ignite major interest in Magic to non-Magic players, the muggles, the average Joe? Are they going to be exposed to Magic because of Post Malone? Post Malone has, his music has billions of views and clicks and stuff like that on YouTube. If you combine it, and he has done a lot of songs all over the radio, all over, music charts and stuff. So he's about as mainstream as it gets, especially among the younger generation. Kind of the kind of people that would be interested in Magic. So I think that there's something here. I think that there is a lot of hype and chiming in about it, kind of like when Cassius Marsh, the NFL player, was tweeting a lot about Magic, showing pictures of his foiled out decks, appeared on the Command Zone as well. But we didn't really see any big numbers, massive appeal, probably because he's not as well known as Post Malone. But it's hard to say. So one of the things that I think sparked the big Pokemon stuff, I mean, a lot of people agree, was the Logan Paul situation, where Logan Paul just like randomly one day, certainly without any, incentive from the Pokemon company, bought a bunch of old vintage Pokemon boxes for ridiculous amounts of money and opened them on stream and just, caused a humongous uproar and commotion in it. And, people started investing heavily and buying heavily into Pokemon. Logan Paul proved to be like the gap between like, nerdy children and stuff playing Pokemon cards to like serious investors and people who didn't really live the Pokemon hype the first time. And we saw a couple of things. We saw an increase in the price of old investable Pokemon cards. Let's talk about base set, fossil, gym heroes, those kind of sets, especially in the gradable and first edition shadowless, all that stuff. All those markets, humongous uptick in prices, like astronomical. Additionally, we saw more interest in the more grassroots, more basic level of Pokemon. People just buying boxes off shelves, stores not being able to hold their inventory. The Pokemon company even had to make a statement talking about how they were going to be increasing the printing, printing machine go burr. So kind of crazy that, Logan Paul was able to do this crazy thing for the Pokemon trading card secondary market. And it's called the Logan Paul moment. And one of the things I've discussed is what would it take for Magic to have a Logan Paul moment? What is the moment where Magic becomes mainstream? Where it's not a bunch of sweaty, nerdy, D&D playing people in a basement, and more like the average person will understand it. Magic doesn't have any big IP as far as television, video games, things like Magic Arena and Magic Online, and streaming their Pro Tour onto Twitch are not going to attract the masses. It doesn't matter how well they do the production quality. It doesn't matter how many bugs they fix. It doesn't matter how they fix the economy. It doesn't matter which famous person like Mr. Beast or Danny Trejo, Day9. It doesn't matter which of these people they get to be in front of a camera or an audience and like look at their magic cards and pretend to be excited about them. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's more like an impromptu, or at least seemingly impromptu, campaign, should we say, that would cause something like this. That would cause that Logan Paul hype moment. That I think it'll take more than just Post Malone. It probably will take, multiple celebrities, multiple people that have a large sphere of influence via TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all these platforms with gigantic audiences of non-Magic players as well. It's going to take something, humongous. I refer to it as like a sledgehammer. In order to make Magic mainstream, you need to like smack it with a sledgehammer. Not like a bunch of screwdrivers and little tweaks and this and that. And today we're gonna hire Mr. Beast to do a campaign. It's like it's like that's like small ball. You know what I mean? This is like throwing underhanded at the pitch at the batter. You need to like throw that shit, hit it out of the park. You need to have massive, massive, massive adoption from random people. They have to think it's cool. They have to think it's interesting. Financially, maybe you need some people thinking it's investable, which it is, of course, but you need to sway an entire populace into thinking it's cool, or at least looking into it. What is it? It's not a big problem that the game is very complicated, though it is a problem. It's not a big factor that it's expensive, though it is expensive. It's a small problem. Magic has a few problems going for it. It's very boring to watch. There isn't really much going on in a game of Magic. It's not like watching League of Legends or Super Smash Brothers, where there's a lot of action going on and titillating details and stuff. You're probably going to have to lean on celebrities playing it. Seeing Post Malone laughing and giggling and enjoying playing Magic, or someone like Dave Williams, the poker player, like introducing it to that whole crowd. You're going to need somebody who has charm, charisma, personality, and doesn't look like a corporate shill, basically. If a person feels like it's like a corporate shill, like it's like, Post Malone is getting paid by Wizards to show up to Frank and Sons and buy cards, it's not going to do the Logan Paul thing. If you have it that we're going to hire a bunch of these famous actors, comedians, singers, rappers, whatever, to do a campaign with commercials. We're going to just film these commercials, and we're going to put them on Twitch, and we're going to put them on YouTube. We're just going to pay this money to get people into the game. It's not going to have the Logan Paul moment. It might have an increase in player base. You might get more players. I'm not going to say those things are completely useless, but it's pennies compared to going viral. It's very difficult. I wonder, you look at YouTube videos and tutorials saying how to go viral. So it's very funny because going viral isn't necessarily a skill set. It's not something that they teach you in marketing school or stuff like that. It is somewhat random, and it's mostly impromptu. Very few people go out there saying, I'm going to go make a viral video, and kaboom. There's no way Logan Paul predicted the impact he would have by making those videos. No way. It's not possible he could have predicted it. He might have surmised that, maybe this will get some more eyes on Pokemon, but he did it because he liked it, because he wanted to. You need more things like that. You need more, someone has their heart and soul into Magic, and they happen to have a large influence. One of the ones that came a couple years ago was PewDiePie. It was like maybe a year or two ago that PewDiePie was like randomly on his YouTube channel just streaming Magic. And if you know anything about Wizards and their corporate culture, they would never approve of someone like PewDiePie, despite his massive influence. They would never approve of him playing the game. They would never do a sponsorship with him. They would not want to be associated with his controversial name. So clearly, PewDiePie was just playing Magic on Arena, showing himself playing some games, trying to get to higher rank or whatever. He just did that out of like interest for the game. No shilling, no sponsorships, none of that shit. So, moments like that are bigger than people realize. That didn't really do much by itself, because it was like a one-off incident. 15 minutes of him playing Magic Arena is not going to make the Logan Paul moment. But I think we're close. I think what needs to happen is there needs to be a genuine, organic interest in the game that comes from people with large influence. Not Magic streamers, not Hearthstone streamers, not random Twitch. It's like huge. You need somebody like Ninja. You need somebody like Post Malone. Someone like Snoop Dogg. Someone like that, Seth Rogen. Someone playing Magic because they want to play Magic, not because Wizards reached out to their agents and was like, oh yeah, we really got to get some people in the game, so why don't you come over here and make sure you do exactly what we say in the way we want it. No alcohol, no drugs, no cursing, no nothing. It has to be completely organic, just like the Logan Paul thing was, to have the Logan Paul moment. Nobody scripted their way to being viral, okay? And that's what Magic needs. Magic needs to, in order to become viral, in order to go crazy, it needs to have something impromptu, something spontaneous, something genuine and authentic. Not a bunch of corporate bullshit, red tape, can't do this, can't say that, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. Garbage. Because as long as Wizards continues to do that, again, they might inch forward, they might inch one more user acquisition here and there. They're never going to have the Logan Paul moment if they keep putting their dirty hands into it. That's my opinion on it. So yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll all be playing Magic and Commander with Post Malone soon. What are your thoughts on the whole situation? Post Malone showing up buying cards, Magic going mainstream. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Thanks.